Hello, this is the information about the Objective 3B, Enhanced Recognition of and Work with Indigenous and Local Knowledge Systems. Here in the task force, we are collaborating. We have two co-chairs, Ana Maria Hernandez. She is the co-chair of the task force on Indigenous and Local Knowledge, the chair of IPBES, and myself, Adriana Flores, working at the Universidad Iberoamericana in Mexico, and I collaborate in Global Water Watch Mexico. I am the co-chair of the task force on Indigenous and Local Knowledge too. We will talk about the main achievements within IPBES 7 and 8. You can have more information in the document IPBES/8/INF/10. We have been collaborating with the task force members. We have renewed this task force to implement the Objective 3B. This renew was occurred in IPBES 7. We are 14 members and 3 assessment liaison persons. We work with a technical support unit based at UNESCO in Paris, France. We have had 2 task force meetings since IPBES 7. The first one in Bonn, in Germany, from November 11 to 14 in 2019. And the second one was held online on June 11 and July 2 of this last 2020. We are working on ongoing activities through emails and calls virtually. For the accomplishment of the Objective 3B, enhanced recognition of and work with Indigenous and local knowledge systems, we have worked mainly in these 3 activities. The first one is support to Indigenous and local knowledge liaison groups by supporting the methodological issues to the 3 ongoing assessments, including recommending contributing authors. The second one is participation in assessment reviews, providing comments and resources on Indigenous and local knowledge from the task force for the group of authors for each assessment. We have had a call of contributions on 2020 as a way of mobilizing materials beyond academic publications. We have received more than 700 contributions from over 300 contributors. Mainly, we have this budget of information with papers, community reports, declarations, videos, and artworks, etc. Some other kind of documents that have been very useful in understanding the contributions from the ILK people. The authors are now working in these materials in the assessment as additional resources to accomplish the assessment they have to do. The next activity is dialogue workshops on Indigenous and local knowledge. We have had 3 for sustainable use assessments on May and October of 2019 and in May 2021. 2 of these dialogue workshops for values assessment on September 2019 and February 2021. 2 dialogues for invasive alien species assessment on November 2019 and October 2020. And for Nexus and Transformative Change Assessment Scoping, this workshop was on July 2020. We have some materials from completed assessment, and some of the task force members have produced it, taking the previous work on of IPBES. The first one is a document of key messages from the IPBES Global Assessment of particular relevance to Indigenous peoples and local communities. This is available only online in English, French, and Spanish. And with this document, the presentation of this document was at the side event of the United Nations Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues, that was held in April 2021 this year. The interim work plans for the intersessional period 2021 and 2022 between IPBES 8 and IPBES 9. For your approval, we have these points with this information. We are continuing working with Objective 3B, enhanced recognition of and work with Indigenous and local knowledge systems. We are doing the implementation, working on the implementation of the approach to recognizing and working with Indigenous and local knowledge in IPBES, including the participatory mechanism. For support, this will be achieved by supporting the assessment liaisons groups, all the ongoing and new assessments. This is taking already in course. This is already in course. We are having these calls for contributions for the Nexus and Transformative Change assessments, since these call for contributions that we have done previously have been very successful. Dialogue workshops, very successful too, because we can have this interchange with local and Indigenous people. For the business and biodiversity assessment, scoping, for the Nexus and Transformative Change assessments, and the invasive alien species assessment. We work on reviewing the draft assessments in between the members of the task force. We have some discussions about some contributions for the members of the task force. We are supporting two other task forces too, for example, on the Nature Futures Framework and the IPBES data management policy. In this same way of accomplishing Objective 3B, we are working on the further development of methodological guidance on the implementation of the IPBES approach to Indigenous and local knowledge as required for this task force to work on. The draft work plans for the intersessional period 2022 and 2023 between IPBES 9 and IPBES 8. We will work in this. The implementation of the approach to recognizing and working with Indigenous and local knowledge in IPBES, including the participatory mechanism by means of supporting the groups, the assessment liaisons groups, for all the ongoing assessments, by making dialogue workshops of the Nexus and Transformative Change assessments, review of the draft assessments, all ongoing assessments, the collection and dissemination of materials of relevance to Indigenous peoples and local communities from the sustainable use and values assessments, and supporting to other task force in their own work. Again, we are working on the further development of methodological guidance on the implementation of the IPBES approach to Indigenous and local knowledge as required. For your information, we have an overview of possible activities related to the Nexus and Transformative Change assessments. This is in the same document, IPBES/8/IF/10. You can have a more detailed view of this plot. In this figure is a kind of timeline for all these activities. We, working in the task force, are trying to ensure the participation of and the best information for the full work of IPBES coming from the Indigenous communities and local people. Here are key features that have already been discussed, including the support to liaisons groups, the call for contributions and the dialogue workshops, and this graphic can be found in the document I have already told you. Thank you.